So far we have discussed the fugacity of a real gas. Now we want to correlate this fugacity and fugacity coefficient with pressure of the gas. Okay. Now that will bring us the how this fugacity coefficient is dependent on pressure. That is one term. Now if I want to define the standard chemical potential for a real gas, then I will use the similar definition like the ideal gas, that is pressure is 1 bar and given temperature is T, then my chemical potential is standard chemical potential, which is denoted as mu 0. Now mu 0 will be again the function of T only, because we are making pressure constant at 1 bar. Now mu 0, so again we can have a condition where pressure P at this temperature T, and then we have a chemical potential of mu. For this we can write that similar equation, mu 0 Tp equal to, or mu equal to mu 0 plus RT ln F by 1 bar. Okay, this F is the fugacity of the real gas at pressure P. Okay, and we are considering that at 1 bar pressure this fugacity of real gas becomes very equal to the pressure. Again we know that F by P equal to nu, because this fugacity is a correction term to the actual pressure of the real gas. So this F by P equal to gamma. So F equal to P into gamma. Now if I write that this mu of Tp, now this mu is the chemical potential of real gas at temperature T and pressure P. This is mu 0, the standard chemical potential of real gas at temperature T, pressure equal to 1 bar. So that will be the, if I replace this F term with this expression, then my equation becomes ln P gamma by 1 bar. Now I can write this again remains same, this again remains same. Then I can write RT, this will be ln RT ln P by 1 bar plus RT ln gamma. Now this P by 1 bar, if I look at this, that is similar to my real gas expression. Okay, that is similar to my real gas expression. Sorry, this is similar to my ideal gas expression. So that will be mu of ideal gas. Okay, these two parts will contribute to the mu of ideal gas at pressure P, and that is my mu of real gas at pressure P, temperature T. Okay, now I have a excess term RT ln gamma. If I subtract this mu real minus mu ideal, then that will be RT ln gamma. That means RT ln gamma quantity signifies about the quantity which refers to mu real, that is chemical potential of real gas minus chemical potential of ideal gas. That is the deviation from ideal behavior of a real gas. That is mu real minus mu ideal at a given temperature and pressure will be always equal to RT ln gamma. Gamma is the fugacity coefficient. Now we know that if my pressure is tends to 0, then a real gas can behave like an ideal gas, and then if the real gas behaves like an ideal gas, then my gamma will be tends to 1. Okay, so at a very low pressure, when pressure tends to 0, then gamma tends to 1. And again if you remember or recall the equation from where we have del G by del P at constant temperature equal to V. So that will bring me equation d mu dg by n equal to V by n dP. Now that can be written as dg by n equal to V by n dP. This V by N means volume by number of moles equal to, that will be the molar volume of the gas. Okay, now G by N will be the chemical potential of the gas. So d mu equal to Vm dp, that is for any gaseous species. Now Vm P equal to RT for ideal gas. This is for ideal gas. This is for ideal gas. Now if I integrate this, integrates from state 1 to state 2, where P1, pressure P1 to P2, and my mu goes from mu1 to mu2. So that will be P1 to P2 Vm ideal dp equal to mu1 to mu2 d mu. What will be the result? That will be result in a that is for ideal case. So that will be RT P1 to P2 dp by P. Okay. So that will yield me a relation of RT ln P2 by P1. Okay. If I use this same expression for real gas, then what will become? This P term will replace by the fugacity term. So that will become RT ln F2 by F1. F1, F2 are the fugacity of real gas and pressure P1 and P2 respectively. Now, if I subtract this real value from ideal, that is subtract the ideal value Vm ideal from real, then what will becomes? Then I will have a relationship like this: RT ln F2 by F1 minus RT ln P2 by P1. Now that will bring me RT ln F2 by P2 in the numerator, F1 by P1 in the denominator. Okay. Now, if I integrate this, if I take P1 tends to 0, my initial pressure tends to 0, then the real gas will behaves like an ideal gas, and F1 tends to P1, that means initial pressure P1 tends to 0, so my fugacity will be tends to pressure. So F1 by P1 will be 1. That is my gamma equal to 1. Now RT, so RT, I can cross this. RT, so that time when I am starting from 0 pressure, that time I will finish with the final state only, F2 by P2. It will, the denominator will be becomes 1 and it will be 0. Okay, equal to 1 by RT 0 to P2 Vm real minus Vm ideal dp. Vm real is the molar volume of real gas and molar volume of ideal gas at the same condition. Let's consider F2 equal to F. Because of, for simplicity, we are denoting F2 equal to F. That is the final state. At final state, we are having a fugacity of F. And P2 equal to P. For the sake of simplicity, we are just replacing this term. Then RT ln F by P equal to 1 by RT 0 to P Vm real minus Vm ideal dp. Now we know that Vm ideal is RT by P, but Vm real is RT by P into Z. This Z is the compressibility factor which is coming from the interatomic attraction and repulsion parameter which exist in the real gas molecule. So if I do this, then what I will notice, Vm real minus Vm ideal, then what will become? This RT will cancel out, Z minus 1 by P dp. Now this fugacity will be ln F by P equal to this much, this integral. Now this F equal to P into exponential of this. If I can know this integral term, then I got the fugacity value for a given pressure. Now we have seen in our gaseous state chapter that Z of a real gas can change in different way. That depends on nature of the gas. So this will be, this type of curve will followed by nitrogen and your nitrogen and your or carbon dioxide. Okay. However, this hydrogen and helium, they are follow always positive curve. Now we are talking about this. Let's say this is carbon dioxide. Now this have this type of curve. Z less than 1 signifies attraction forces are predominant, and Z greater than 1 signifies that repulsion forces are predominant. And if I make this Z minus 1, that is this will be 0. Z minus 1 will be, this 1 unit will be 0 now. Then I can divide this unit by pressure P. Then the curve nature will remain same, but the magnitude becomes very small. So I have the amount which have to integrate in the y-axis, and that is, if I say this is y and this is x, y dx, integration y dx is the area under the curve. So integration, if I make, because if I write this area of this y and x, this area will be integration y dx, area integration y dx. So see, then if I have a Z low pressure, I am in the low pressure region, then I have a this value is low, negative, and my area, that is the integration of this term will be negative. This area will be negative. Thus exponential, I have now f equal to p into exponential a negative term. So my f becomes, p is non-zero, but p is very low value. It's maybe close to 0. So positive into exponential negative. So it will be a negative term, and this things will become, this will be f less than p and gamma less than 1. For our Z value, where I have positive Z value, then I am going from this point to this side. Now this point to this point will be equivalent to this. Now the area under this curve is positive. So this f will be p exponential positive, and my f will be greater than p and gamma will be greater than 1. So that is totally depend upon the Z, and Z depends upon the pressure of the real gas. So if I know the Z of the real gas at a given pressure, at a definite given temperature, then I can find the F value by using these two relationships. Okay.